Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar on COSGrid networks. So, quick introduction to COSGrid. We are an SD-WAN SASE company founded in 2016. As I said, we have a good, rich experience in building global products for enterprises and telcos. Have done innovations in SD-WAN area security and so on, and we have pretty good deployments, track record in South India, and other segments now, and we have been a winner of a second stage, in cyber security grand challenge, and also top finalist. We are working on 5G security, IoT security, and a lot of interesting use cases. We have been associated with IIT Kanpur, DSC, Data Security Council of India, Intel, Department of Telecom, and so on. Everyone would have heard about, today's back news that Rogers Communication, in Canada, there is a great, internet outage. It impacted millions of, internet users for an entire day, and then the impact on economy is big, right? So today, in the digital world, not reliably getting connected and also vulnerability to threats is a major enterprise risk today, right? So these are all major enterprise risks, and there are some smaller productivity risk as well, right? So today business continuity is even more important, but the organizations are not doing enough to handle this. Okay, the reason is that branch connectivity and operations are very, very expensive thing using MPLS and other technology may not be apt, right? They should move away from legacy technologies to a new age SD and SD-WAN technology. Okay, so third is that today everybody in an average and enterprise uses 40 to 50 SaaS products, right? So which are very future rich, right? And then there's a way to go, but then the bandwidth infra, network infra is not trying to handle that level of bandwidth or user experience. That is another big challenge, right? I mean, so to the cloud and IoT world, which is moving very fast, and deployment is a challenge. Traffic is expected to grow 30% more. 5G is coming, and so on, right? So, and also data breach is also increasing in a big way. That's the kind of a trend today, and especially to follow up with that, manifold attack and attack surveys. People are working from home. The cost of data breach is increasing, almost doubling every 4 to 5 years, right? So with the 5G, more and more 5G is going to come, and IoT adoption, from my home to IIoT, so the attack surface is looming large, right? So enterprises have to do something about this, and then take appropriate steps, right? So that's where some of the technologies, some of the core engine of technology that is planned, that is going to protect the organization is, one is SD-WAN, software defined wide area network, and another is SASE, secure access service edge. So SD-WAN is nothing but just I'll give a very brief idea about SD-WAN, right? SD-WAN is, you can say, it's a more like an intelligent and secure router, okay, that is programmable, from a centralized orchestrator, right? This is it's a much more feature rich, much more intelligent, which is suitable for this new, Web 2.0, Web 3.0 kind of area, right? To the world, right? It provides reliable connectivity, right? It gives a bigger pipe, a pipe that a single service provider cannot give, right? By technology, by combining multiple, small pipes, or even bigger pipes, small pipes, everything together, leveraging 4G, 5G, 3G, whatever is available, right? And then come up with a bigger pipe, right? This is one thing. Another thing is that all the more important about SD-WAN is about to protect the user experience, application acceleration, user experience, right? So that's important, right? If a user experience is pretty bad, it hits the productivity in a big way. Okay, it protects user employee productivity, it impacts the customer experience, right? So these are the important aspects of it, right? So this is and when it comes to SASE, secure access service edge, it's more for internal infra, right, where you are working from employee has to access in a much more zero trust way of connecting to your applications, in the data center or the cloud, right? So the SASE is more like a very, very intelligent, VPN, I couldn't say VPN, it's more like an intelligent desktop client, which can allow zero trust access in a much more secure way, right? And anywhere, anytime. Okay, so that's the SASE in a simplistic way, and protects the users, like work from home users or anybody, or IoT and so on. That's where we come up with a product solution called Reflex WAN, COSGrid Reflex WAN, resilient and flexible WAN. So where we have a centralized controller come orchestrator, which manages hundreds and thousands of endpoints. The endpoints could be a SD-WAN router, or it could be a VPN or IoT device or whatever, right? So it could be any endpoints, which are completely seamlessly managed in an automated way, in a zero trust way, and with a adaptive orchestration and management model, right? So which is the need of the heart today, right? So that's the whole idea, right? So with that in mind, SD-WAN offers unified transport service. It can bring MPLS, existing 4G, 3G, and so on, right? And then it provides unified transport, intelligent traffic steering based on what is the application policy, right? Like for example, email application has to travel on link 1, WAN link 1, and CRM or SAP has to go on link 2, like that, right? We can define a policy, traffic policy, which is much more important for a quality of service or user experience, right? Similarly, it measures the link quality, much more intelligent way of handling things. Okay. Third is integrated security. So one of the challenge with the security is that everybody knows security is important, but managing the right level of security is a challenging thing, right? Because they don't know, they think they know, but they may not know, or they know, but they don't know how to do it. So the automation, automated templates, automated way of orchestration is a key thing here. So integrated security makes things much more easy. And also another challenge in the security is about the cost of security, right? I mean, it can't be, security per se cannot exceed the business objectives, right? So an integrated security can play a great role, in able to deliver, right? So that's the one thing, right? And together together all this security, traffic steering, bigger user experience, improved user experience, it's all manageable from a single place. That's the whole idea. So which I think I talked about it. So what is our, for example, an SD-WAN product or our product should have, right? So next generation firewall, encrypted VPN tunnels, content filtering, because the content filtering is another important thing where we want to because otherwise the endpoints can be impacted. Content filtering, load balancing, branch routing, and so on. And another important thing is about the application quality of service. That's a key thing, right? Through combining multiple WAN links, including multi-path traffic aggregation for application, network acceleration, SaaS acceleration. So these are all the techniques that will deliver the quality even in the very tough, very even bad link conditions, right? Link also, so that for example, link can have a higher packet loss. It can have a higher latency, temporary latency, right? Still, it could be momentary, but still the experience of the user or customer should not be impacted, right? So that's where the application QoS plays a huge role, right? And traffic analytics and management. So today, visibility is more important, right? Traffic, who is using how much traffic, what application they're accessing, right? People are talking about shadow IT, right? Normal IT knows, shadow IT you don't know. So for shadow IT, the visibility is a very key, right? So we should have a complete visibility, deep packet inspection, and what is the link quality, alarms, reporting. So all these things are seamlessly integrated into one single solution called, that's what we call Reflex WAN, solution. So some of the features includes, we talked about ubiquitous connectivity, Today everything should be like plug and play, right? So we need to zero touch deployment, and also ability to manage, from a single location, from anywhere you can manage your entire infrastructure, right? So people are totally talking about cloud native, edge computing, right? These are all an essential playbook to reach there, right? In fact, okay, so simplified orchestration, right? Your security policy, traffic policy, networking policy, all of them can be automated using policy orchestration in a centralized manner, right? And obviously, this all leads to a secure operations, because anything that reduces the barrier, right, it gets adopted and it actually delivers the results, right? So here, we are talking about SD-WAN solution components, which has got, the appliances, reflex edge appliances, which has got appliances for the branch office, appliance for the data center, appliance for the cloud, and the gateway for IoT, right? So there are, anywhere, because today is a borderless, world, right? Anywhere you can deploy IoT, branch, and so on. And everywhere it should be protected, and according to the form factor is also available. So with these appliances, we deliver SD-WAN, network acceleration, which improves the user experience in a huge way, in a hugely improved way, and security, network security, threat detection and mitigation, right? So these appliances are controlled and managed and enabled by two key cloud components, and cloud hosted components called COSGrid Guider and COSGrid NetShield. COSGrid Guider is nothing but a network orchestration, okay, and network controller, which continuously monitor. It's the gateway to the entire world of managing the infra, right? And we can do all the automation, remote upgradation, everything is possible, right? Because they're always reachable, connected to the devices that we want to manage. COSGrid NetShield is more like, it's a big data and ML platform for today's world, right? Where there is IoT security issues, 5G security, and so on, right? There is a lot of zero-day attacks are happening. So which needs an anomaly detection in a big way, and anomaly detection, deep packet inspection, and so on. So we combine all these, techniques to detect the threat, and accordingly, mitigate it through an SDN way of doing it. So it detects the threat, and then we can make appropriate response. We also call that as a network detection response. So these are the this is going to be very hugely useful for a critical workloads, like a BFSI, healthcare, and so on. So again, just I think I'm going to now a little bit talk more about the components of this SD-WAN, our SD-WAN product. One is like Reflex Secure Edge, which is a zero-touch deployment. It's a super intelligent, edge platform with a firewall, routing, quality of service, and so on. Another is Gateway, which is more like a SASE cloud gateway, right? Which is like more like a VPN gateway, you can say, but with a lot of functionality. It's much more easy to use for people, right? And the Guider, which I talked about, is the orchestrator. Another is Secure Connect. Secure Connect, as I think we talked about prior, it's about today's VPN client, advanced VPN client, right? Which has got more intelligence. It secures in an automated way without the user intervention much, actually, right? COSGrid NetShield, I talked about it prior. It's about the big data platform for detecting the threat in real time. There are a lot of benefits that offers. So here we are talking about some of the important core features of SD-WAN, a resilient WAN with adaptive traffic steering. So how we can, it showcases how the traffic between two endpoints, typically a branch office, is carried in a much more seamless way, and through multiplexing, demultiplexing, right? So where it creates a virtualized WAN, right? Where a big bandwidth pipe, which can handle, bandwidth, whatever the, increasing bandwidth in a better way. And the important part of it is that this offers a zero glitch to the customer, because you take any normal load balancing failover, there is a significantly observable latency, disconnection, disruption, and so on happens with the sessions. Like your user using is as there is assuming there is a voice over IP call, or it could be like a ERP, transaction healthcare core banking application. If there is a normal regular technologies, will not be able to handle it seamlessly. With the zero glitch, resilient WAN with adaptive traffic steering, there is no glitch at all, right? Customer or user will not see any impact on that. Impact on the able to observe it actually, right? So here we talk about multiple options available for a typical enterprise customer who is already using MPLS, who doesn't have MPLS, and so on. For example, let us take a scenario: a customer is already using MPLS, right? The customer is comfortable with the MPLS because service provider is offering SLA to the MPLS, right? But they want to improve the bandwidth, improve the user experience, right? So they can go with the hybrid WAN, which is a combination of MPLS plus internet. Plus, internet could be from broadband or 4G or 5G, right? That's called hybrid WAN. Okay, so that is another widely used solution. Second is SD Internet Edge. So customer is completely moving away from MPLS or any other technology to a completely internet-based VPN tunnels-based model. That's called Internet Edge. Much more easy to implement, much more value, immediate ROI, right? And then it reflects in WAN. In WAN more Internet SD Edge is more for a small branch office. Reflex in WAN is for large enterprises, because it has got a lot more security and other auto tunneling mechanism is available, right? Secure access is more like a secure connect, which we talked about, right? A user can connect to anywhere through desktop without having a hardware, right? SD-WAN needs a hardware to be deployed. A SASE or secure access, like a VPN client, you don't need a hardware, right? That's the difference. So what are the benefits from this SD-WAN, Reflex WAN specifically, right? It delivers great user experience. User could be your customer, or he could be your employee, staff, right? So it leads to more productivity that is given by better network reliability and performance, and reduced security risk through much more visible security, much more reliable and visible security, and intelligent automation leading to much easier operations and reduced IT costs through a converged solution, right? Because for a lot of segment, a converged solution is much more effective approach. Otherwise, it creates a lot of barriers and difficult to operate. It never happens. So integrated network security platform. So NetSecOps is important. I think I'll cover this thing later on. I think another slide is there. Okay. So what are the use cases? I think some of the use cases are like secure branch internet access, right? Through broadband, 4G, and so on. Secure remote access, like typical SASE model, or some people just they want just a simple. They don't have any. The customers may not have any bigger pain point, like in some cases, right? So what SD-WAN can deliver there today, right? So a centralized management also a kind of use case. Today there are some customers who are living in in the heart of the city. They don't have any network issues. They don't have any performance issues. So what is the SD-WAN can deliver? The SD-WAN can do the centralized management, do network automation, makes operations much more easy. That is also one kind of a use case, right? Like customers are looking for SD-WAN. So another use case is WAN acceleration, right? So customers are accessing SaaS applications like CRM, ERP, but they feel it's very slow for various reasons and they're not able to handle it. They want much faster, more productivity, so they can use WAN acceleration. WAN acceleration can also happen through more bandwidth and so on. Much more bigger, better pie, bigger pie. Okay, so then actually enhance application performance also anyway related to that one, right? And I talked about another use cases, classic use cases, MPLS migration to SD-WAN. So which will give immediate reduction cost, flexibility, compared flexibility or reduction of dependency from service provider, and switching off. So these are some of the, this is one thing. And voice and video on broadband. Like today, we see a lot of webinar, a lot of discussions are happening on voice and video. We need to have reliable connectivity. So that is also one of the key use case. From it could be from work from home or it could be from office, but it's an important thing, right? So yeah, so if we're talking about the industry specific benefits for retail, they're using fewer thin branches where they want to have non-disrupted transactions, superior customer experience in the store through out of home experience. And retail also need to roll out faster, right? I mean, retail is all about fast moving thing, right? So there is a quick rollout of branches required, right? So financial services, a very key vertical where security and visibility is more important than any other vertical, right? Superior customer experience, secure access to the application, rapid rollout of branches, right, and so on. So there is a lot of similarities in terms of benefits in in healthcare. The reliability enables that telemedicine, and so on and so on. So manufacturing, again, we can it helps in IoT also. IoT is also now needs much more. It enables automated real time the inventory and other applications, like supply chain also can benefit from manufacturing in the manufacturing vertical because of the high reliability and and user experience. And restaurant and hospitality also is another, where the customer experience can be enhanced in a big way, better way, right? I mean, today we talk about a lot of hospitality also deploying because of online ordering like Swiggy, Zomato, and so on, and a lot of loyalty and so on. There's a lot of things happening there. So yeah, so what is like COSGrid really can offer here? I mean, how we are really better and different than the some of the market, right? So there are a lot of SD-WAN players in the market, right? So very few players can offer zero glitch experience through patented, but COSGrid has got a patented multipath traffic aggregation and advanced traffic steering, right? So, and of course we also offer SaaS acceleration. So overall, zero glitch experience, improved application experience is another key, one of the key core value prop that we offer, right? Another is zero trust access. Today, zero trust is a separate product. SD-WAN is different product. So something we always have take a very holistic and converged approach. So we have integrated some amount of near zero trust access and micro segmentation, right? Which along with the geofencing gives that security assurance in a big way. So security is another one of the key thing, and that is already delivered for in most of the use cases. And SaaS application acceleration, which I talked about it, which already we software. And another important thing is NetSecOps, right? Which very few vendors offer. Network security plus SD-WAN plus user endpoint monitoring, user experience monitoring. So in a single platform, single console, we will be able to, the administrator will be able to view the entire whatever the operational, what's happening there, how to control and everything, right? So, and we talked about an NDR, maybe that calls for a separate presentation altogether, where we have developed IPR, where it can deliver detect threats 3 times better in a shorter time, right? So these are some of the unique points that we have, right? So quick overview of the some of the use cases. I don't know, okay, we have some time. Okay, so one of our customers, Orange Retail Finance, was using MPLS VPN was trying to expand their footprint across South India, right? And then they had a lot of issues in terms of reliability, performance, right, security, and so on, right? So we approached the customer, we did a POC with them, right? They typically were using a lot of applications like loan processing, branch of CCTV, collaboration, web access. They had like thin branch, like for example, a branch will have say 5 or 6 users, 6 laptops, desktops, along with IoT devices, right? So they had a tough time in monitoring them, right, communicating to them and so on. Okay, so after they did SD-WAN POC with us, they with a 4G, by leveraging 4G and broadband, their bandwidth increased, costs got pretty much reduced, and the team got a very good visibility in terms of the management and so on. So they completely migrated away from MPLS to SD-WAN, COSGrid SD-WAN, and they have been using our product and services solutions up to now 3 years now actually. Okay, so now another important use cases, again this is more like a hybrid WAN, right? There are two model. One, MPLS to complete migration to completely internet. Another is augmenting existing MPLS, right? So Sankara Netherala is one of the leading healthcare provider in based out of in India. They have been using MPLS for quite a number of years. They had a lot of challenges. Some of the hospitals are some remote area, right? Some outer area, right? And then they had a lot of performance issues, reliability issues, and so on. So they are initially they did a POC with us, and we completed successfully the POC, and then they converted into our solution, and their performance increased 2 times. Much more reliability, lower branch downtime, and we use 4G and they are happy about it. So these are all the quick overview of the thing, and I will leave another 10 days, that's 10 minutes for Q&A. So that's the quick thing. I will also talk about some showing. See, we have multiple licensing model, basic secure SD-WAN, which is good for entry level retail kind of a thing. SD-WAN standard for which includes a little bit of UTM, UTM kind of services, to some extent. And then SD-WAN Prime is for financial services or any other industry verticals they need, like power sector or whatever, very critical infra, right, where they want a complete integrated solution with NDR, network detection response, right? So this is what we offer. And then when it comes to hardware, so we have multi-SIM routers, right? Multi-SIM, multi-radio routers. We have we have multiple hardware platform and software platform. So we have hardware appliance also. We have software also. Software can run on a bare metal, x86, hardware, or it could be running in a hypervisor, or it's also available in cloud as well, right? So there are a lot of flexibility in terms of using integrating with the today's scenarios, and branch, data center, cloud, IoT, which I talked about. We have for large branch, we have a different Intel-based platforms. For smaller branch, you have different ARM or MIPS-based and hardware platform. You have and also for data center and small branches as well. So this is so we can share these specifications and all the things. So deep packet inspection and next generation firewall, quality of service, and so on. So I'm done. I'm done. If you have any specific queries,
adopting something is already there and adopting your solutions and products, what does it take, right? Typically, if you can share about a couple of minutes on the deployment cycles and the transition.
Correct. We talked about more technical product level. Absolutely. See, actually, one of the things is that networking or security predominantly has been a box-driven model. So you buy some box, deploy it. It has comes with a 5-year license, more kind of a thing. Today it's a SaaS. Entire thing is about a SaaS world, right? So we offer more of a network as a service, completely subscription model, where customer only pays for a hardware, right, which is like a kind of a fraction of the cost compared to the entire solution, and then the software is delivered on a subscription model. Like it could be annual subscription. Of course, the subscription comes annually. Okay, the payment could be a one-time annual, or it could be quarterly, or it could be monthly as well. Like like the way you one pays for this broadband or bills, kind of a thing, right? So that kind of a model is there. So very flexible. Only if customer sees a value, they'll be charged, right? I mean, so to do that, we do a POC, proof of concept. We understand their infrastructure capability, and the partner understands the infrastructure and the current network infra, maps what is the way forward without minimal disruption to the existing infra. We do a POC, and then customer runs it for say 1 month typically, or it could be like 2 or 3 months also sometimes, right? So depending on the organization context. So once they're happy about it, and then they will place the order. So
got it. So you're saying that typically you will, during the POC, showcase to them the benefits out of that whole deployment.
Yeah, they will see the outcome. We go with a list of test cases. What are the things we understand? What are the key points? Because this is SD-WAN is not a single product; it's a solution, right? We will understand what is the pain point, what is the priority, and then accordingly design the POC, and we will verify, during the course of the POC, and almost towards the end of the POC, we will review it and then see whether it has met or not met. Yeah, so like
I have to wait for my 5G to come, or I have to wait for XYZ to come and then only adopt this, or it is like good to go for anyone who has any broadband or anything today?
Yeah, I mean, see, absolutely, that's a good question. In fact, I also heard this kind of a query. Query is very thing. See, end of the day, SD-WAN is about transport agnostic. It could be 4G, it could be 3G, 5G. In fact, 5G will improve the acceleration of SD-WAN, because people will go more with, they have better connectivity. They go for more digitalization, and see, end of the day, SD-WAN is all about, that it's about spreading your basket, right? Like, even if there is a 5G, like for example, if 5G goes down, you need to have your backup or parallel lines in today's world. Like, like as I told you, right, Rogers Communication, right? They were doing some software upgrade, entire thing is gone, right? So, so 5G is definitely improves the quality, but when 5G comes in, the application acceleration, the entire industry shifts to a different user experience model. So we need SD-WAN to definitely do that.
They may have, for some of their regions, they may have say some SD-WAN solution, while for some of the geographies or some of the other deployments or say departments, they can obviously try COSGrid solutions, right?
Absolutely. So this can be perfectly working for brownfield, because today, people, organizations will have their own existing thing. They don't want to disturb it, right? So perfectly it will work. For example, there is a organization, they have pain points only in the few branches, right?
Correct.
Still they can try, wherever the pain point is there, they can deploy the SD-WAN without disturbing the thing. So it's a much more simple thing. I mean, again, as you rightly said, right, there are some. So one of the challenge, what we have seen from our own experience, right? Today, SD-WAN comes in different sophistication, right? So very complex solution also is there, complex enterprise solution, which will have a large budget, right? Long time for the teams, IT teams, to understand and deploy, right? So definitely that's where a lot of teams are scared about the CapEx cycle, OpEx, everything, right? What COSGrid does, it is a much more very simple and lightweight approach and software as a service model. So it's much more easy to deploy.
Got it. So thanks for that. Last one I have in my mind. I'm just how do you really integrate these solutions and work with the NOC and SOC teams? Is there something you may want to share? What it takes, what will be your role, what will be their role during the deployment, post deployment? If you can give a little bit of overview of that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So far we have not see. Okay, the whole idea is that we are all using open API model, right? So for example, our SD-WAN controller, which is hosted in the cloud, multi-tenant SaaS model, right? It all exposes all the REST API, right? Any third party, either we can push the data. So that's one of the important what to say, one of the key thing, right? So a lot of teams want customization a little bit, some level of customization, right? So that we have used a much more latest technology and principles, right? So either we can push the information to whatever that they need, or they can pull through a REST API, the third party can pull the data. So these are the methods we never had any so for any those kind of challenges as far as.
Got it. So I think it's conducive in terms of whatever reports or information they might need, right? And last thing, I'm sure, wherever I'm sure the whole thing, as you rightly said, the SaaS proliferation, usage, as well as direct to consumers, e-commerce, and various branches which are there, like typically and operations which are very heavy and dependent on, say, so these delivery operations for that matter, right? So what is your, say in terms of, who should really look at quick adoption, or experimentation with your solutions, right? What are the typical set of customers? I'm sure mid-market segment must be also very keen to really look at this, right?
Absolutely. I think, see, one thing is that, the way we look at it is that like anyone who is on the green field, obviously, rolling out new branches, right? They immediately benefit. The problem is that if someone already has got some deployment, there is always some inertia, white change kind of a thing, right? So greenfield thing, anybody can go. Whether they're using MPLS or not, today everybody, even IoT, needs some reliable connectivity, right? So any green thing. Another thing is that wherever they have little bit of criticalness, real-time transactions. Say for example, if I'm going to check a mail, right, I don't need a real-time thing. But if I'm using some kind of a cloud applications, SaaS applications where I need to push a CRM entry, or I want to make an order or something, a customer, right? Customer doing a thing. So those are all the use cases where they need to deploy SD-WAN quickly. And another aspect is that from a security point of view, not only about the reliability, security point of view, they need to deploy. Today the security quotient is even today much lower, that they need to deploy SD-WAN with the integrated security so that the users are protected. Productivity point of view, right? Because assuming they're visiting some unwanted site, a lot of phishing attack can happen, or some worm can enter their laptops. So these are the so it impacts the entire thing, right? So even working from users, not only branches, right? In today, even working from users also can deploy, should deploy SD-WAN in a different form factor altogether. I think we already discussed about it one day. Thank you. Thanks for everyone to be listening on this afternoon. Thank you.